With thousands of different mutual funds in the US to choose from, determining which ones are best suited to meet your needs can be intimidating. There are several criteria to consider when choosing a mutual fund. Funds are required to reveal their average annual returns, net of fees, for the past 1, 5, and 10 years, or since their establishment. The performance of the fund manager can also be taken into account. However, it is important to keep in mind that, as with other securities, external, unanticipated factors have the potential to influence mutual fund performance, so past results are not indicative of future outcomes. Another key element to take into account is the total cost of the investment. Beyond comparing prices per share among funds, determine how sales charges, otherwise known as sales loads, are assessed, realizing that these and any management fees can lessen your overall returns. Portfolio turnover, or how often the securities within a fund are replaced, is also worth evaluating. Each fund has a portfolio turnover ratio that indicates how long a fund generally holds onto its securities. For instance, a fund with a 100% turnover ratio holds securities for a shorter term, typically less than 1 year on average, while a fund with a 25% turnover ratio tends to hold securities for an average of 4 years. If a fund has a high turnover ratio, it generally means that the manager of the fund is frequently buying and selling the securities within the fund, generating additional transaction fees that are then passed on to the investors. This ratio is also important because of its potential tax implications. A fund with a 100% portfolio turnover ratio might realize gains in a shorter period of time and more often, which, as a result, may subject you to higher tax rates than gains realized less frequently or over a longer term. To determine how the mutual funds you select may influence your tax liability, you should consult a tax professional. There are several additional factors to consider when choosing a mutual fund. If you choose to invest in a bond fund, be aware that changes in interest rates or credit quality of the bonds purchased in the fund can negatively affect your return. Think about your short and long-term needs to determine your investment objectives. Weigh the potential risks and rewards of each fund and recognize your risk tolerance. Finally, your liquidity needs and time horizon may impact which mutual fund is right for you. And when in doubt, consider consulting a trusted financial professional for help. To learn more about this and other investment topics, subscribe to the Zions Direct YouTube channel.